Good morning, Charles. Thank you so much for joining me. How are you today?
Doing great, Florencia. Pleasure to be here.
Awesome. So, Charles, let's jump right into it. Would you tell me a little bit about your team, the market you're in?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're a relatively small team. My wife and I are team leaders. We've got three realtors that are part of our team. We're based out of New Jersey, just outside of Philadelphia. So really the South Jersey market.
Oh, nice. Okay. And so I know that we placed Jonathan with you, and I know that he's been doing so good. I think it was like a weekend he was hitting his weekly bonuses, right? So tell me a little bit about the results.
Yeah, good point, right? So it's been a great experience so far. So all the research that I had done, people that I had talked to in terms of who had brought on ISAs, et cetera, everyone talks about be prepared for a 3 to 6 month ramp up before you start seeing results. And quite frankly, those were my expectations. But John came in, hit the ground running. We did a couple of days of true onboarding and just learning. So I guess I held him back a little bit from when he got onto the phones, but we had him starting on the phones probably by day 3 or 4 and just hit the ground running, and has been exceptional for us thus far.
Yeah, and I know that in this case, PowerISA didn't do any training. You actually came in super prepared and had your own training. So that's awesome. What did you do, if you don't mind me asking? Like, what was the day to day like?
Yeah, so for us, one of the most critical components is onboarding for anyone, right? And that not only sets the tone for getting somebody up and running as quickly as possible and productive as quickly as possible, but quite frankly, ongoing expectations when they're with us for a while. So our onboarding really was probably focused the first week around our systems, our process, etc. And with that, that was more of a 3 to 4 days a week that we were doing probably about an hour and a half each day with Jonathan. And then what we started doing was started getting into a little bit of scripting, a little bit of how we position things within our own environment that's applicable for us. And then really focus on role playing. So as we navigate that for us, it's less about the script, more about the various components or ways of positioning, because we want the conversations to be natural. And
Yeah.
Jonathan just really took to it very quickly. Quite frankly, he was very familiar with our systems already, as
Oh,
he had leveraged them in his previous experience, some of our systems. So it took less time to really focus on that, more around how we position our conversations and our expectations. And as I mentioned, he really hit the ground running. So at this point, we have our weekly meetings. So we make sure, how are we tracking, are our expectations being met, what challenges, if anything, Jonathan's facing, how we can help navigate and remove the roadblocks. But then also we're touching base, quite frankly, each day throughout the day, just making sure that we're tracking the way we want to.
I love that. Wonderful. So you focus more on just pretty much the script and role play and him making it kind of more more natural, more that's really good.
Absolutely.
And so how many appointments would you say he's making a week? Because I know that we had to change the weekly bonus structure because he was hitting that way too easy.
Well, we did, but what we do is, for us, we've evolved in terms of what we focus on. So we've actually, so the initial component was for Jonathan to come in. Obviously, we have his hourly rate, but we instituted a bonus for a number of set appointments through the week. For us, and our focus, what's more important are what we define as our met appointments.
Mhm.
So the set appointments obviously leads to the met appointments. And so we instituted an additional layer of bonus for him, for as we hit our met appointments. And to me, that's more about the level of quality of the appointments that Jonathan's setting, right? So we want to make sure that he's tied to quality, also in conjunction, obviously, for when transactions close. But this is another milestone that he can reach before just the initial set stage now and then at closing. So to give you more detailed information, you know, he we've been tracking it now for about the last 5 weeks or so. And so over the last 5 weeks, Jonathan's had about, I want to say 65, 66 set appointments, which have translated to about 52 met appointments. So obviously there's going to be some drop off. It's never going to be 100%,
Hmm.
but we like those percentages a lot. My expectations was more of a 60, 65% conversion from set to met appointments. He's tracking much higher than that, more around that 75, 80%. So if we can keep doing that, that's going to work out really well. And then to add on top of all that, we actually have our first closing next week for one of Jonathan's qualified leads that he provided one of our realtors.
Oh my gosh, how
So
exciting.
we're really
He's doing
excited
a
about that.
yeah, he's doing really, really good. And I see him very dedicated. Just so much energy. I love it. And I mean, to be honest, a month in and getting those results, that's really, really good.
Yeah,
I'm
we feel
impressed.
very lucky. Because I this is not the first time that I had engaged for an ISA. We went out
Hmm.
and probably about 9 months ago, I went out and hired an internal ISA on my own.
Okay.
And again, recognizing that what the industry shows as the percentages of success rate, things along those lines, I went out and hired somebody internally, and that person lasted with us for about 3 or 4 weeks, and then I put that on pause and looked to engage with Power ISA, and have had a tremendous experience.
Oh, wonderful. So that leads me to my next question.
Okay.
What would you say to someone who's like on the fence of, working with us, who's, thinking about it, not making a decision just yet?
I mean, I would say whether it's somebody on the fence or not even thinking about it, to go ahead and not only think about it but go do it. I mean, it's like I said, we're about 6 weeks in, but the experience, the process working with you, not only in uh, the first communications around it, setting up the interviews, going through the process itself to identify who we were looking for. You really were able to align great candidates for us to choose from. So it wasn't just, hey, here's your guy or gal, and good luck.
Hmm.
So we really enjoyed the experience of the process, and then again, not just having Jonathan come on board, but being able to work with you on a continuous basis, right? So another aspect is not just, okay, we helped you find your ISA, good luck, and we'll talk to you in a year or so from now. So
Yeah.
obviously we've had a number of conversations and communications along the way. It's been a great experience. I highly recommend it.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Charles. I really hope that, I can help, make your team grow even more. But I really appreciate your time, and I'm really happy and impressed with Jonathan. And I'm happy that the whole process was nice and easy, very smooth. And yeah, I appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.